Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time clicking on my videos, then thank you, and you're very much welcome to stick around and subscribe. And if you're a returning viewer, then thank you for coming back. So you've obviously already titled my video and you know that this video is going to be about everything Ghana. So I recently returned from Ghana like last week or 2 weeks. I think it's been like 3 weeks now since I've been back, but I went to Ghana this year and I went to Ghana last year. And both times I vlogged my experiences. I put it up on YouTube and people have watched them by the grace. And with that, I've had so many questions, both last year and this year. So many questions about my flights, visas, things to do, places to stay, like why and when, etc. Last year I felt like I'd done a good job of trying to respond to every single question. I had emails, DMs, comments, the whole lot. Like I did my best to reply to comments, even though some people asked the same, well, different people asked the same question like a million times. I still responded. And this year the same thing, but this year a lot of the questions that I've had in DMs, etc., I have replied, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make one video responding and answering to everything, covering everything, and then that would be it. Any question I'll refer the person to this video, and that's it. I did make notes of everything that I'm going to cover in hopes that I don't miss anything out. Hopefully this video helps somebody who is going to Ghana, plans to go. That's another thing. A lot of people say that they're going to Ghana or they want to go to Ghana, and I know that from Twitter loads of people are planning to go in December. I hope that this video helps somebody and just answers a question, and it just, yeah. Both this year and last year, the reason why I actually went to Ghana was because I attended a church camp called Mans from the Lord, which is an annual camp, annual First Love camp. If you don't know, I go to First Love Church. So all the First Loves worldwide, we go to Ghana and we have a massive camp with our bishop. If there was no MOTR last year, I wouldn't have gone to Ghana. If there was no MOTR this year, I wouldn't have gone to Ghana. But I've just taken the MOTR and I also used it as a way to also do up holiday. Like I've also taken advantage of the fact that, oh, I have a camp to also do up some extra days and enjoy Ghana. So that's why I went to Ghana, and if I'm to go Ghana in the future, next year, whatever, the main thing will always be I'm going because of MOTR. I'm going because of the camp. I've only travelled from the UK, so everything I'm going to say is based on my experiences from the UK. So last year I flew with British Airways. This year I flew with KLM and Air France. British Airways is the only airline company in the UK that does a direct flight to Ghana, which is why I went with them last year. However, it is the most expensive airline as well out of all of the airlines that go to Ghana, based on my research and the period that I've gone in. Both times I've gone in July, and if you know, July in the UK is notorious for travelling and flights are at its peak in like prices. So there are other airlines that go to Ghana from the UK, including Air Maroc, TAP Air Portugal, Emirates. I don't remember any others. All of the other airlines except from BA do layovers and stopovers before you get to Ghana, and where you stop over depending on the airline you're going to. For example, if you go to Air Maroc, you're most likely due to stop in Morocco and then go from Morocco to Ghana. KLM usually stop at Amsterdam to Ghana. Air France go to Paris to Ghana. TAP Air, I don't know where they stop, to be honest. Emirates goes to Dubai to Ghana. So they're all the airlines that I'm aware of. You can really Google if there's any more that go to Ghana from the UK. Every time you go to search for a flight, like the first time you search flight to Ghana, that's saved on your history. And believe it or not, prices will be altered based on your search history. And it sounds crazy, but it's so true. Every time that I would search flights to Ghana, whatever, after that I would clear my history, or I would use, the private browser thing where it doesn't save your history. Use that so you can get the cheapest prices, clear your browser, etc. Use different devices, compare with your friends, all of you be searching and get a ticket. So when I bought my ticket for Ghana this year, I literally booked at like 3 AM. My friend that I went with, we was on the phone from like midnight to 3 AM searching for tickets, searching for flights, and we got our flight, which was much cheaper than what like our friends got their tickets for, or at least my friends got their tickets for. Well, that's another thing. I don't believe in the whole the closer you, okay, it is kind of true. If you book the day before a flight, it's going to be really expensive, but I feel like if you're booking a month before, 3 months before, there isn't much difference. Because last year I went with BA, my ticket was 500 and I think, and I went in July, and I literally booked my ticket like 3 weeks before. But obviously this year BA were doing mad thing, and BA flights were no less than like £900. That's why I didn't go BA this year. I feel like it's just it's bizarre to spend £900 on a flight ticket to Ghana. No, won't do it. No, that's everything pertaining to flights. Hopefully you haven't missed anything. Okay, so flying from the UK to go to Ghana, you need a visa in your passport. To apply for a passport, you need to go onto the Ghana High Commission UK, and there's two ways you can apply. You can apply via post, online and in post, or you can book in a meeting and go in there directly, handing your passport, etc, etc. Both this year and last year, I applied for my visa online. So I done an online application form, and at the end when you submit and pay, it's £60 for a visa from here. It's a single entry visa, which the one that I've done both times, I'm only trying to go in there once, and it lasts for a period of 3 months. It takes up to 15 days for it to return. For both times my visa literally took, like, from the moment that I've submitted my application form and I have then printed out the form that you have to print out and sign, and sent my passport to them, which I always send first class. I literally go to the post office, first class, send it off, and then once they get it, they'll usually email you telling you that they received it and with an expected delivery date that they'll give it back to you. It's usually within 15 days. So if you're planning to go to Ghana and you want to use this service, make sure there's plenty of time between the time you're applying for your visa and the time that your flight is, because no visa, no Ghana, baby. There are options to do same day visa application. It's more, I'm not sure how much, I think it's like £120 I think, where you go into the British High Commission office, obviously you have to book an appointment, whatever, do your visa application there and then. There is that option. There's also a 72-hour option, but again, I'm not sure of the prices because I've never done them. You can just go on Google British High Commission UK and find out the prices. But yeah, that's what I done both times. Sent my passport off, they sent it back to me. Well, they hand deliver, actually. There's a guy who comes to hand deliver your passport back to your door with your visa inside your passport already in there. I would show you guys, but I can't bother to get my passport. Actually, let me get it. So here's my passport. The visa comes in your passport like this, and then you go, you travel with it. I think that's everything pertaining to visa. Again, you cannot go to Ghana from the UK without a visa. It will not work. To go to Ghana, vaccinations you need to have, like, it's literally by force. You actually have to have a yellow fever vaccination. When you get it the first time, it lasts forever now. So I got my first yellow fever vaccination last year. This year I didn't have to get it again. But when you get your vaccination, you get a certificate which says International Certificate of Vaccination. And when you land in Ghana and they're doing the whole border force situation, checking your passport, they can easily ask you for your yellow fever certificate. I know of somebody this year who travelled to Ghana for the camp, and she got to Ghana, she didn't have a certificate, flight back to UK because you didn't have your yellow fever vaccine, and you need it to enter the country. You have to have it at least 10 days prior to your departure date. So when I got my vaccination last year, it was literally 10 days before I flew out, which was crazy. Don't do that. Get it way in advance and just be happy and just be, like, stress free. You can get your yellow fever vaccination from your GP. You can go into Boots, you can go into Superdrug, anywhere that NHS is available, you can go and get it. You do have to pay for it. It is £60 for the vaccine. There are also other vaccines that you can get, like hepatitis B, hepatitis A. You can get all of these vaccines. Honestly, I didn't get it because it was like another £50, another £60 for every vaccine, and to be honest, I was just like, I'm not doing it. But what I did get last year that I actually didn't get this year was malaria tablets, which I would advise, highly recommend, that every single person going to any country that you can catch malaria, get malaria tablets. The malaria tablets that I got last year was Malarone. I got mine from Boots last year, so you can get it from Boots, you can get it from Superdrug, you can get it from your GP. Just need to get malaria tablets. There are different brands of malaria tablets. The one I got was Malarone, like I said, but there's doxycycline, which is another popular one, but the side effects that I've heard about that one is a bit mad. There is an option of getting malaria tablets in Ghana, which is actually what I plan to do. When I landed in Ghana, I think one of my vlogs you even see, I went to a pharmacy and I actually like, how much is malaria tablets, because it's much cheaper out there, and they have Malarone, they have another one called Larone. Yeah, Larone, there's other ones as well. But in Ghana, malaria tablets was 30 cedis per tablet, although it still would have been, excuse me, it still would have been cheaper than London. I was just like, am I spending 30 cedis per tablet? Like, am I really doing that? But yes, I didn't get malaria tablets this year. All my friends thought I was mad, which, yeah, it's not, I wouldn't recommend it. I would always recommend that you get malaria tablets, because a mosquito could bite you, which is very likely. I did get bitten by mosquitoes this year. I actually didn't get any last year, but this year I got bitten on my legs, A few times, but by the grace of God, I didn't catch malaria. I've been back for like 3 weeks now, and I'm still malaria free, thank God. But yeah, that's it concerning malaria tablets and vaccination, etc. to go to Ghana. If I had a pound for every single time I was asked, what apartment did you stay in? I don't know why I did that voice, but I understand why I got the question now, uploaded my apartment vlogs and all of these things. But again, by the grace of God, last year and this year, the apartment that I stayed in, I didn't have to pay for it. I personally didn't spend any money on my accommodation. Also, where I stayed isn't available for like holiday home or rent or anything, so I cannot share the apartment details of where I stayed, etc., because it's not, you can't Google it and be like, I'll rent it out for your stay in Ghana. It is not possible. The people that live in the other apartments that are there, they actually live there, so it's not like they're there for holiday, that's their home. I was able to stay with my friend, and last year the same apartment building, literally just different, like number 8 and number 5 or something. Staying in Ghana, there's the hotel options. Hotels, there's your Movenpix, you got Golden Tulip, you got Kempinski, you've got La Palm, you've got the Body Beach Hotel. What other hotels? I think I wrote some down. There's even a Holiday Inn, you've got the Golden Tulips. Yeah, I said all of these hotels. Your Movenpix, Kempinski's, Golden Tulip, they are more pricey. Even the Body Beach, they are more on the pricey hotels in Ghana. But then there's a Holiday Inn, for example. There's a La Palm, and there are cheaper hotels that you can find. You literally have to go on Google and put hotel in Ghana, and then there's plenty. There's also Airbnb options, which I actually looked at this year because we were going to stay. There was a chance I was going to stay in an Airbnb and not in an apartment this year, so we did search Airbnbs in Ghana. Again, there's loads. And what I would say concerning hotels, the only tips I would give, not hotels, because all the hotels were the ones that I think are in good areas, they're in good locations, that I would recommend people stay in Ghana because they are like central and not far from everything. But if you were to get an Airbnb, the areas that I would suggest you look for Airbnbs are Osu, Cantonment, Ridge, North Ridge is where I stayed both this year and last year. Generally the airport region, East Legon, not too far into East Legon, but just like East Legon, that is just, you're just getting into East Legon. There's other areas like Achimota and Dansoman, which are not bad areas, but in my opinion they are way out. Like if you're from the UK, staying in Dansoman is like staying in Croydon and wanting to travel to central London all the time. Yes, we have good transport links, but in Ghana you ain't got a train that's going to take you there in 15 minutes, you know what I mean? Places like Osu, Cantonments, Northridge, Airport region, they are local to everywhere. You can get to the beaches, you can get to everywhere in Ghana, like Oxford Street and all of these places just quickly. Which brings me on to my next point. Traveling around Ghana. In all my vlogs you saw me traveling by either a driver or Uber. This year was definitely more, I only used a driver once, but it was this year Uber. Everywhere I went was Uber. Last year was a combination of both. Everyone has Uber app, put in wherever you want to go, Uber will come to your door, pick you up, take you there. The thing about Ubers in Ghana is that they do accept cash and card. I have to say that both times, this year and last year, I never ever paid an Uber by cash. I always used cards. But Uber drivers in Ghana don't like the card thing, especially when it's late at night. They have this like, oh, I need to put my fuels, I need cash. I'm just like, bruh, I'm using my card. So yes, we did go the Uber option. The driver option was more expensive. By the grace, I didn't have to pay for a driver. You can again Google drivers in Ghana. And then there's obviously the trotro, which is like the main common use of transport in Ghana, which is what the locals use, which is like their bus. But the only thing with that is, one, you have to know where you're going, because if you don't know how many stops it is to go to your destination, I would highly recommend that you don't take a trotro. If you are also traveling on your own, I would recommend getting a trotro because of obvious reasons. You don't know how many stops, etc. But trotro is obviously the cheapest. It's like one city 50 pesos for a ride, and it's like, okay, like it's cheap. But I personally, both this year and last year, have never used one because I was always told not to, and personally I just went about it. Like, that's the truth. And obviously you can walk places. Again, I wouldn't recommend walking because you just don't know where you're going. Oh, and obviously there's also the taxis, the local taxis in Ghana, that you can just call from the roadside. Like, they will literally stop you before you even stop them, and you can tell them where you're going. But even with that, you have to know, like this year I got in a taxi one, but I knew that the location from where I was staying to Osu, which I was going, was at least 5-6 cities, no more. So a taxi driver couldn't charge me 10 cities because I wouldn't have it, because I've known the distance to where I'm going. One final tip, safety tip concerning Uber. When you get an Uber, what I did this year, I didn't do it last year. I don't think it was even an option last year, but because I travelled a lot on my own, and like even at night, like a lot of the time I was by myself. So every single time I got an Uber and the Uber started driving, I would share my locations with a friend in the UK and 3 other friends, or 4 sometimes, who were in Ghana, just as a safety measure, like just in case I went missing. Somebody else could also see my journey. Somebody else can also see the Uber driver's car registration, all of that stuff. So that's just a safety tip, generally. The currency used in Ghana is Ghana cedis. What I did both this year and last year is that I have a Revolut. Do I have it at hand? It's in my purse. Oh, let me go get it. Ooh. I have a Revolut and a Monzo card. I feel like Monzo is a lot more popular in comparison to Revolut. So this is my Revolut and this is my Monzo. So both of them do the same thing. Like, it's the same concept. You can use them worldwide, nationwide, and you won't be charged I don't even know what it's called, basically a fee to withdraw money in whatever country or currency that you withdraw money in. Last year I only have a Revolut, but this year I had Monzo and a Revolut because last year I exceeded the withdrawing limit on my Revolut and I had to get a friend to withdraw for me, blah blah blah. So this year I had a Monzo just like as backup. So in Ghana I'll use my Revolut to pay at restaurants, to withdraw from the cash machine, and also for my Uber. So on my Uber account I link my Revolut onto there instead of my usual Barclays, because again the same thing will happen every time I was charged an Uber. Barclays, if I use my Barclays, would charge me a fee. I highly recommend getting your Revolut card or Monzo. It will make your life so much easier, like just so much easier. Another thing as well, when I go to the cash machine and I would withdraw like 200 cedis, as soon as literally the money comes out of the machine, a message comes up on my phone, a notification: you just withdrew 20 this amount of pounds. So it converts the 200 cedis into pounds on my phone, so I know how much in pounds that I'm spending, which is, I just think it's lit. So that's how I literally survived concerning money in Ghana. I always try to have cash on me because a lot of places don't take card, like, you know, look at the markets and what they're called, the kiosks, etc. They don't take cards, so I always try to have cash on me. Oh, and the exchange rate in Ghana is, it's actually quite sad. Right now I'm not sure how much it is. It changes, it fluctuates from like 1 to 6, between 1 and 6, 1 and 7, 1 to 7, 1 to 6. So £1 being 6 Ghana cedis, or £1 being 7 Ghana cedis. So £100 would be 700 Ghana cedis, and 700 Ghana cedis is like £700 in the UK. So it's a lot of money. If you're planning to go to Ghana for like a week, £100 would be more than enough, because that's giving you 700 cedis. Blowing £700 in a week, like, it's not easy. So if you can do that, then you need some financial advice. Things to do. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I feel like I'm just gonna run through these, and I'm gonna link all my Ghana vlogs in my description. You can see all of the things I did both this year and last year. Last year I did more of the touristy things, so Independence Square, Makola Market, went to the Kwame Nkrumah National Park, went to the museum, the Ghana Museum, went to the Ghana Art Centre, like the main touristy attraction things in Ghana. There's also Cape Coast, but I unfortunately didn't manage to go to Cape Coast, but maybe next year, if I go Ghana next year. This year what I did, because I had seen all of the like main attractions in Accra, like the touristy ones, this year I dived in a bit deeper. I went like further out of Accra, the less built up areas of like Ghana, of Accra basically. Honestly, my mindset this year was more just like a local. I was brave to be going out by myself, coming home by myself. Church is something to do if you're a Christian. Your Christianity doesn't stop in the UK. If you're in Ghana on a Sunday, there's church. Go to church. There's a First Love Centre in East Legon behind the Allied gas station. Yeah, so Accra Mall, ANC Mall, places to eat. I can't list everywhere I've eaten, but Frankie's, Honeysuckle, Starbites, Capital. There's loads of places to eat in Ghana. Loads of places that I've eaten. Again, my Ghana vlogs are linked below. I showed a lot more places that I ate this year than last year. This year's Ghana vlogs, check them out. And that's it really. That wraps up, I think, everything pertaining to Ghana. I think I've answered every single person's question. I think I've hopefully I've helped out somebody who plans on going to Ghana, and that someone found this video very, very useful. Ghana is lovely. I would absolutely go again, like 100%. MOTL on the MOTL. I would definitely go to Ghana again. I love it. I'm a Ghana girl. Like, my friends all call me Ghana girl. I'm a Ghana girl. That brings the end of this video. This video is much longer than I intended for it to be, but just hope I've covered everything. But if there are any other questions that you want to ask me that I haven't covered in this video, feel free to DM me, email me, do whatever, and I would surely respond to you. Thank you guys for watching. Do like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with more videos from myself. From this point onwards, I am going back to my normal videos, so hope you enjoy and you stay connected. Thank you for watching. I'll be back soon.